Hello, crafty friends. This is Amy. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a quick and cute craft to do. I'm just getting a glass cylinder. I believe I did get this at Dollar Tree, and I'm just cleaning it up with some alcohol. You could use, Windex, whatever, just to get the grease and grime off. And these are some pretty napkins I found, and they're those German kind that I really like. Just keep your eyes open, folks, for stuff like that, and pick them up when you can. So I want to bring this down to 1 ply, and it looks like I'm pretty much going to be using that entire half piece of this. And we're going to wrap it around, brought it down to 1 ply. And then I just got out my Mod Podge, and we're going to attach that down to the glass. And so what I did to kind of keep it in somewhat of a control is I did a little bit, placed it on, and just kept doing a little bit, rolling it around, so then it didn't get out of hand and things didn't get sticky and I'd rip things. And so I just kind of went around it and rolled it. And that seemed to do pretty good. I did not put a cover or another application of Mod Podge over the top of this when it was dry, but you certainly could. So I went through there and then I trimmed it off where it ended. And I knew this would be kind of overlapping there, but it's going to be at the back of it. And this little trick I picked up from another YouTuber, and you just kind of use the cling wrap as, so you don't rip your paper. And maybe I'm doing it incorrectly, I'm not sure. I still ended up ripping a little bit of the paper. See, there's where I ripped it. And so you just fix it and use a little bit. I tried to pull back on the tissue paper and it was, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. And so just take another scrap. There was another part of this napkin. And so I'm going to just take another scrap of it. And I decided to do like a tearing of it rather than a blunt, where you would cut it with the scissors. Brought it down to 1 layer and put some more Mod Podge in it. And it looks just fine. I love that the tissue art is coming back. There's such beautiful napkins out there. You can use tissue paper too for like gift wrapping. Just such a fun craft, so easy and gorgeous when you get done. And then I'm just taking and bringing down the edge of the napkin and just curling it right over the top. You could take that off if you wanted to, but I decided to just keep it on there and give it somewhat of a pretty edge. All right, now I'm just finding some raffia. This actually came from a Dollar Tree, one of those little skirts that you can get, and summertime thing. Just putting a little raffia on there. I made it a little bow. And this totally screams like it needs lights. And so I know I've got this package of 10 of the bottle lights. And it's meant to go in the cork, end or the bottleneck as like a cork. And I'm just going to use those, and I didn't glue it, but you could glue it on the inside of it so, it stays and you can just turn it on and off. And I might do that later. Sometimes I do things and then I think about it a little bit before I actually do make, the gluing it down. But it turned out so cute. I knew it would be cute because I just thought these napkins are gorgeous and lit up on glass. Oh my goodness. It just brings out the beauty. Those napkins are made in Germany and they're just so popular. I'm loving them. Let's move on to the second DIY. Now with this DIY, I was out and about and I saw that they had the new Christmas Iron Orchid Designs, and I picked these up, and I did learn that they come out once a year with the designs and then they're retired at the end of the season. So I bought this one, and just kind of showing you the way to find that. The best way would be just to go on the Iron Orchid Design and find a retailer near you. You can also find them on Etsy or maybe Amazon, not sure. But that's probably the best way to do it. And now I'm just getting out some of my stamping supplies, and I'm just going to go to town and I'm going to stamp out some ornaments. And this one is getting stamped with this basic gray. And so I stamped it, and then I wanted to put the Merry Christmas in there. Well, as you can see, it overlapped. So I was like, well, I know how to fix this. And I wanted to dull that down, so I'm using the tissue paper from my previous craft and Mod Podging that down, and then I'm just going to sand it off with a little sanding paper and make that nice and sharp edge. These were really fun to do, very relaxing. It's kind of a type of a craft, that you can just kind of do whatever and it all looks good in the end. And I wanted to use, my neutral colors, so I went with gray on this one, and then I kind of went with the browns on the other two. But still with it even neutral decor, you can use just a little bit of color in there. I did use a little red and green. It just kind of adds to it, so it's not quite so, neutral looking, but gives it just a little pop of color. And I found a lot of times the ripping does make things just a little bit more distressed looking, makes things more grungy, if that's what you kind of like. And just using my inks and adding to them to make it aged looking. And it's really kind of nice to use a little foam brush, or not a brush, but a little sponge to, add to things. It goes really slick. And using that old technique of just crumpling it up, and that adds in those creases where it'll pick up some of that ink. Now it looks super cute now, but I was going, it is really cute. I just want to add a few more things. So of course you got to tie it with something. And I put on some of the gray buffalo check ribbon. I did get this at Hobby Lobby, and I'm loving it. And then just going to add on some bells and greenery and call it good, because I've got 2 more to go. Hot glue works great for this. Just going to show you how to pop things on. And then just glue on the new Merry Christmas that I had to make since the other one got covered up. All right, we got another one here. They had another Merry Christmas in the set. So my thoughts with this one is I'm going to put the Merry Christmas in a darker brown, and then I'm going to do lighter brown for the other part of it. And this had some pine cones in it. And so that's why I chose that, to kind of add some prettiness to it. And then these I got at Hobby Lobby, I believe last year, and they are a little bit bright. So I did add some white and brown to dull them down and make them more neutral looking. I did pop on those with some hot glue. Everything stuck very nicely. I'm having fun making these Christmas ornaments, and I am going to continue with the Christmas theme until Christmas, because I can't believe it, it's almost here. I'm going to try and come up with maybe some ideas for gifting, that kind of a thing. So just take your inks and your paints and just do whatever you feel like to, grunge this up if that's your desire. I wanted to pull out a little bit of the red, and my stickles were pretty much dry. I was trying to make some dots on it. I didn't have a whole lot of luck, but I did end up getting some of it out of there, and I promptly threw that in the garbage when we were done. Now this one, I thought I have two white ones. I'm going to make this one brown. So I covered over it with that antique wax. And my thoughts were we're going to take this cute deer and just put a white deer on it. Well, as you can see, it didn't turn out all that well. And so I thought, well, I'm going to re-ink it. We're going to see if we can get this to work. And so I did it again, and I took it off the block and just pressed it down, hoping that it would work this time. And it's still not what I want. So I cleaned it up, and then I'm just going to go back with that darker ink, that brown. And I love how it turned out because it's like you got that white in the back. It just kind of gives it a little bit of a light behind it. Sometimes those happy little accidents, they make things look better. And then here I'm just adding some white around it. And then of course that wasn't enough. Ultimately, I did go with the paint and add white paint to it. But I'm just putting on some of that gingham. Oh, that gingham was so cute. I got this green and this gray at that Hobby Lobby at the same time. And I've just been holding on to it for the right thing. And it's perfect for a little ornament. And here's the little white snow going around the ornament. So fun. I sure did have fun making these, so I hope you enjoyed them. And it'll give you a little inspiration to make your own. Fun, fun. Well, let's keep going. We have got one more DIY coming right up because I have more of that iron orchid designs. I ended up getting some transfer paper, and all it is you transfer it on with a stick. So you'll have to stay tuned, check it out. DIY number 3. Like I said, here it was. This is also limited edition. She said these, just came out. So chances are you guys will be able to get this if you really like it. And this is a book of paper I had. This would be something you'd want to look on Amazon, or I'm not sure where you get it, but I had just one of them. Now, you can't get any easier than just rub-ons. And it's a huge rub-on. The paper, the plastic backing there is nice and thick. They give you this plastic stick, and it worked fine. I ended up kind of using the corner of it. Maybe just grab a popsicle if you don't care for how it came out. And so this is how it looked when I got done. And I decided to make it a hanging piece. And so I just cut 2 pieces of the, the little sticks, the yard sticks, and painted it with the mineral color. And that kind of matched that Merry Christmas part. And now I'm just adding some white so I can just kind of blend it, grunge it, make it more farmhouse and chippy-like. And I needed some kind of a hanger, so I just ended up threading on some beads. You could stain them, you could paint them white, but I decided to just leave them alone. And I'm just going to add it as a layer into putting it on the scrapbook paper, which is pretty thick, by the way. And so to make this more reinforced, I ended up putting a little bit of, you can put a little ribbon in there and just kind of soak that hot glue right in the ribbon, and that makes it even more strong. And then see how everything's attached, and then I'm going to place that on the front of my image. And I'm going to use both types of glue, the long-term and the short-term hold. Do your best to line things up, and I did purposefully make it a little larger than what I needed to just kind of give it a little bit of a prettiness to it. And that's how easy that is. Hang that up, and you've got a very beautiful neutral Christmas decor piece. I think I'm going to have lots of fun with that little set from iron orchid designs and do lots more fun things with those very easy transfers. Thank you, my friends, for always being so supportive and stopping in. I truly appreciate you and your support. Merry Christmas to you, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.